Welcome to English Lesson Series, which will kick off in Lesson 1 about parts of speech by your virtual learning partner, Teacher Benedict. This humble piece of work is dedicated to my loving wife, Steph, and adorable son, Matthew. Introduction. This lesson video series of my channel is intended for beginners of English who are already avid readers. This first lesson will cover the 9 parts of speech, providing note tasks and exercises. Determiners, which are oftentimes used as limiting adjectives, were added to the function words group as they cannot be coined to form new word, which is the general characteristic of the major content words. Who are the intended users of this lesson package? This series of video topics is just timely, particularly that most of the learning platforms are already online and modular. Therefore, this video and its succeeding videos are not only for students but for their learning partners who wanted to have a review so that they can teach it to their learners at home as well as for young professionals and teachers. Before you proceed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Why study this lesson? Parts of speech, which is interchangeably used as categories of words, may be quite familiar to us. But have we tried to go deeper on what is behind it? This will lead us to an expansive study of the categories of words which we use to speak every day. That means we should know what exactly is the word or the words that we use in our day-to-day conversation and transactions. How many are they? There are 9 categories of words in parts of speech, namely, first one is noun, followed by adjective, and then by verb. Next is adverb, followed by determiner, then pronoun, and of course we have conjunction and preposition, and finally we have interjection. Can we classify these categories of words further? Yes, we can divide them into 2 major classifications, as the first one is the major content words consist of noun, adjective, verb, adverb, and the second major classification is the minor function words, where it has determiners, pronoun, conjunction, preposition, and finally interjection. What are major or content words? They are termed as major or content words because they carry most of the content or meaning of a sentence. Such classes are also open, and new words are added as they are coined. They do not change entirely in meaning. Examples: addition of affixes like prefixes, infixes, suffixes. Then we have the word inflections and verb forms. And next, the last is reflecting the number of the noun, either singular or plural. Examples of adding affixes. Let's have 3 columns. First is the basic root word. Then we have the prefix to be added to the basic word. And then it becomes the U-form word. Let's start with this first group, the prefixes. The first word is friend. When added with the prefix of un, then it becomes unfriend. The second word is locate. By adding a prefix of this, it results to dislocate. Then with suffixes, let's start with the basic or root word. The suffix to be added to the basic word, and then the new formed word. First word, mother. When we add the suffix hood, this becomes motherhood. And the second word is loyal. When we add the suffix of ty or t, it becomes loyalty. Examples of word inflections and verb forms. This time we have another 3 columns. The first is the verb, then the inflection added or changed to the verb form, then the new verb form. The first word is walk. We add ed and that becomes walked. The second example of the word is bake. We add d, this becomes baked. The third word is make. We change k to d, so this becomes now made. The fourth word is bring. We change ing to ought, and it results to brought. The last example of the verb is forget. We change the e to o and add 10. We now have forgotten. Examples of words reflecting the number in nouns. We again have 3 columns for the illustration. The noun in singular form, then the change or changes to make it plural in form, and the third column is the noun plural form. First word, we have car. To make it plural, we add s, and this becomes cars. Next word is mango. We add es, then it becomes mangoes. Then the third word is foot. You change double o to double e, and now it is feet. And the last word or noun to be changed to plural is wife. We change f to v and add s. So it results to wives. Now let's have a basic discussion on content words. The first is noun, followed by adjective, next verb, and the last one is adverb. Of course, our discussion will be limited to first is basic definition, concepts, and examples. But don't worry, each content word will be discussed exhaustively and the succeeding videos include its classification and types, structural form, and other grammatical concerns equipped with tasks and activities to answer. Let's start with the first major content word, the noun. We have its examples. Noun is simply defined as a naming word. A naming word for a person, object, or thing, place, event, and abstract ideas. Naming word for persons. As a naming word for persons, it will vary from specific or proper noun to general or common noun. Examples of this: Matthew is a proper noun, a name of a boy, and boy is a common noun, and they are both nouns. The second example is Angelina Jolie, an actress, proper noun, and the word actress is a common noun, and they are both nouns. Naming words for object or things. Object or thing is defined by a dictionary as living or non-living. Plants are into this category. Nara, a proper noun, and tree, because Nara is a tree, is a common noun, are both nouns. Second, appliances are into this category, wherein Panasonic, a brand, is a proper noun, and television is a common noun, and they are both nouns. Naming words for places. A naming word for a place varies from specific home address, building, barangay, city, country, continent, and other locations. A specific name for a building, common noun, is city residences, which is a proper noun. For a barangay, which is a common noun, its proper noun is Bagong Silang. Then, with the city, a common noun, its proper noun is Calbayog. Naming word for events. A naming word for an event is a term which includes man-made events like parties, but also calamities and disasters, which are natural events. Example of this is the Sinulog, a proper noun, is a festival, which is a common noun and is a man-made event. Another example is Undoy. A proper noun is a typhoon, common noun, and is a natural event. Naming word for an abstract idea. A naming word for an abstract idea is something that we cannot see, touch, and smell, but we know that it exists. For example, brotherhood. We know that there is such, but it does not have physical characteristics like color, size, odor, etc. The second one is patience. It is just an idea where we cannot measure through the use of standard physical characteristics. Titles as naming words. Lastly, we also have to consider that titles are also naming words. Titles for what? For movies, stories, books, and other source materials. Shake, rattle, and roll. A title of a movie is a noun. Another example is The Monkey and the Turtle is a title of one of the famous Philippine fables and is a noun. There are 10 principal functions of English nouns. Let's start with the first one, subject of the sentence. So, noun is used as a subject of the sentence. Example, dinosaurs had existed before. Dinosaurs is used as the subject of the sentence, so it's a noun. The second principal function is a direct object or DO of the verb. Example, Romanito cooks dinner. Dinner there is a noun which is used as a direct object or DO. The third principal function of the English noun is as indirect object or IO. Example, the teacher gave the students an assignment, wherein the indirect object there is the students and the direct object is assignment. They're both nouns. The next one is the subject complement or SC. Example, Alan is an artist, wherein the word or noun artist is used as a subject complement in the sentence. Let's move to the fifth principal function of the English noun, and this is object of preposition or OP. Example of this is Eleanor places the books on the table, wherein the preposition there is on and the noun used as the object of preposition is the table there. Okay, for number 6, as predicate nominative or PN, example, Australia is a continent, where the noun continent is used as a predicate nominative. Okay. Now let's continue the 10 principal functions of English words. We are now on our 7th, wherein it is about the object complement or the OC. Example of this, we named our dog Tommy, where Tommy here is an object complement or OC. Number 8, as a positive in the sentence. Example, he is my son, Matthew. Where Matthew here is used as the appositive. Let's move to the 9th principal function of English nouns, and this is direct address or DA. Example of this is, Ayesa, I told you not to go. The word Ayesa is a direct address or DA. And the last one is as nominative absolute or NA. Example, the man being mad, I avoided to argue, wherein the noun phrase the man being mad is a nominative absolute or NA. This time we're moving to the second major content word, and they are adjectives. Let's look at it. Adjective is defined as a describing and limiting word for a noun or pronoun. It is a describing word when it gives an opinion or observation, physical characteristics like size, shape, age, height, weight, color, origin, material, qualifier, or nationality of a noun or pronoun being described. Examples of describing words. First, we have opinion or observation, the word is expensive. For size, the word is small. For the shape, the adjective is round. For the color, the example of the word is yellow. For height, the adjective is tall. For the age, we have young. And finally, for material, we have wooden. Limiting adjectives and its examples. Limiting adjectives, they tell which one, what kind, how many, or whose. Categories of limiting adjectives. The first one is the articles consist of a, and the. For the demonstrative adjectives, we have for, this, that, these, and those. For numbers, there are two subgroups in here, wherein the first one is about the cardinal numbers with examples 1, 2, 3, and so on. And the second subgroup is the ordinal numbers with examples 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and so on. Then let's move on to the fourth one, the possessive adjectives. Examples are my, your, his, her, etc. And the last one is indefinite adjectives. Examples of any, several, few, etc. Using an adjective in the sentence. Sentence without an adjective. Example, the children run. So there is no adjective there, because children is a noun. Whereas in sentence with a describing adjective, it can be like this. Example, the noisy children run. Wherein noisy there is the describing adjective, the children as the noun. Using adjective in the sentence, and we continue. Sentence with a limiting adjective, LA, and describing adjective or DA. Example, the three noisy children run. Wherein the is an article, or should we say a limiting adjective. Three is a limiting adjective. Then noisy is a describing adjective, and children is a noun. Note, the which is an article, is a limiting adjective, and it comes first followed by three, another limiting adjective, then by noisy, a describing adjective, and the noun comes last of the phrase, then the verb run. Can we use nouns as adjectives? In the sentence, the three noisy children run, we identify the three noisy children as a noun phrase, where adjectives comes before the verb, and the verb is a part of the predicate. However, in the sample below, the adjective describing adjective, or DA, is a part of the predicate. Example, Stephanie is honest. Okay, there. So the describing adjective comes after the verb is. Can we use noun as an adjective? Yes. Consider the examples below. Sentence 1. Football is a famous sport, wherein football is a noun here. Okay? Then in sentence 2, we have this one. The football players were welcome. Now the noun football becomes an adjective to noun players. Explanation: when a noun is used to describe another noun which follows it, it becomes an adjective. Okay, now we move to the third group of major content words, the verbs. In most cases, when students are asked to define a verb, they would say it is an action word. However, it is not just an action word, but rather verbs are action, saying, sensing, and relating words. Action words and its examples. For action words, they can be easily identified as movements which are observable, like walk, jump, carry, cook, clean, demonstrate, push, wash, arrange, donate, write, stroll, etc. Saying words and its examples. For saying words, it includes respond, answer, say, retort, whisper, enumerate, narrate, utter, report, shout, read, emphasize, discuss, insist, hum, murmur, etc. Sensing words and its examples. For sensing words, it includes feel, smell, see, believe, rationalize, decide, heard, taste, observe, imagine, reflect, know, remember, consider, observe, enjoy, recognize, recall, etc. Relating words and its examples. For relating words, it is or it can be shown as used in a sentence. Example: Matthew is a Filipino. The is in the sentence, which is in the be form of the verb, relates to Matthew as a Filipino. Non-example of a relating word. However, the is be form the verb in the next sentence not or is not a relating word. Example: Sarah Jane is running fast. Instead, it is used as a helping verb for the main verb running. It can be noted that relating words are those used in the sentence as am, is, are, was, and were, but should not be followed by a main verb. Since we have been mentioning about the helping verbs, which are also called auxiliary verbs, then let's have the classification of helping and auxiliary verbs. The first one is modals: might, may, would, shall, and endless modals. Okay, they are many. Then for the to be, examples are am, is, are, was, were, and been. Then for to do, we only have three: do, does, and did. And for to have, we only have also three: has, have, and had. This time, what is a verb and a verb phrase as used in the sentence? As a verb only, example: Abed smiles sweetly So the verb there is smiles. It's just a single word. So here, as a verb phrase, example, an earthquake has been reported. Where has been reported as a verb phrase. A main verb reported accompanied by helping verbs has and been is a verb phrase. The 12 tenses of verbs in English language. The 12 tenses of verbs in English language is classified into the first group is the simple tenses, which includes present, past, and future. There are 3. Then the second group is the perfect tenses, also present, past, future tenses, 3. The third is the progressive or continuous tenses, present, past, and future, also 3. And the fourth, to complete the 12 tenses, is the perfect progressive continuous tenses, present, past, and future, also 3. Simple tenses and sentences. Simple present tense. Rose saves money. Then it happens when the subject is singular, where Rose is just one, so it's a singular, so you will notice that the verb saves is in S form. Another example of simple present tense is Rose and Mary save money. So in this case, the subject is plural. As you see, Rose and Mary is more than one, so they are plural, and our verb save has no S in it. Okay, for number 2, the simple past tense, our example is Rose saved money. You see, our verb there on its past tense form has a D. So there. Okay. Whereas on the third example of the simple tenses is the simple future tense. Our example is Rose will save money. So the verb save is accompanied by helping verb will. So this is the structure of future or simple future tense. The second group is the perfect tenses in sentences. The first is present perfect tense. Example of this, Arlene has memorized her speech. Arlene is the noun, and has is the helping verb for the main verb memorize. Then, this happens when the subject is singular and Arlene is singular. That's why we use has plus the past participle form of the verb. Then for the second example, the kids have brought flowers. The kids is the subject. It is in plural form, so we use have for the helping verb of the main verb brought. So here, that's why it is in plural form. So the main verb is in past participle form. So don't forget that. In perfect tenses, always the verb or the main verb is in past participle form. The second perfect tense is the past perfect tense. Our example is Apolinario had left the room before I noticed him. So in this sentence, there are two clauses. Subject Apolinario, there are two verbs, the left and the verb noticed. Although the first one is had as a helping verb. So it is consists of two clauses with Apolinario had left the room, an independent clause and I noticed him, a dependent clause connected by a subordinating clause before. The verb in the first clause is in past perfect tense, while the verb on the second clause is in simple past tense. MV stands for the main verb. Now we have the third in the perfect tense is the future perfect tense. Example, by the time the pandemic is over, my son will already have enrolled in kindergarten, where by the time the pandemic is over is a dependent clause. The will have already have enrolled, should I say, in kindergarten is another clause, and already is an adverb. Have is a helping verb, and enrolled is the main verb. The future tense of the verb is will or shall have plus the past participle verb, the verb. Adverb is not necessarily a part of the future perfect tense structure, so there are two helping verbs plus the past participle form of the verb, or PPB. The third group is the progressive or continuous tenses, starting with the present progressive continuous tense. Example here is Jean is preparing for dinner this very moment, where is the verb, or should I say the helping verb for the main verb preparing. This tense is used for action in progress. The verb tense structure for a present progressive continuous form is the helping verbs am or is or are plus ing form of the verb. This verb tense can also be used to describe actions that are habitual or regular or true across time. Next example, we are always hiking during weekends, where are is the helping verb and the main verb is hiking. Adverb is not necessarily there, so it's just to modify the word hiking. The second progressive continuous tense is the past progressive continuous tense. Example here, I was hiking in Mount Apo when I saw a rainbow, wherein was is a helping verb for the main verb hiking. And on the second clause, the verb is saw, which is on its simple past tense. There are two actions in this tense expressed in two clauses. The first clause, independent, has the past progressive tense was hiking, and the second clause, which is dependent, has the verb saw in simple past tense. The verb tense structure for a past progressive continuous form is the helping verbs was or were plus ing form of the verb. The last of the progressive continuous tenses is the future progressive continuous tense, with an example of this one. My friends will be watching this video next week, wherein there are two helping verbs for the main verb. These helping verbs are will and be, and watching is the main verb. This tense, future progressive or future continuous, is formed using the will plus be plus the present participle or the root verb in ing form. In this specific example, the time signal is next week. Furthermore, this verb tense indicates that something will occur in the future and will continue for an expected length of time. The last group are the perfect progressive continuous tenses. We'll start with the first one, the present perfect progressive or continuous tense. Example is, I have been working on this video for the last 2 weeks. So, have and been are helping verbs of the main verb working. Present perfect progressive tense is used in the sentence to give emphasis on the completion of an action that is in progress. This tense is formed using the has or have plus the been plus the present participle or the root verb plus ing form. In this specific example, the time signal is the last 2 weeks. Next for this group is the past perfect progressive continuous tense with example of I had been enjoying my life as a single for 2 decades before I finally decided to get married. So, in the first clause, we have the helping verbs had and been with main verb enjoying. So, for the second clause, the verb there is decided. So, past perfect progressive tense is used in the sentence to give emphasis on the completion of an action that was in progress, and it's composed of 2 clauses where the second clause has its form decided in simple past tense. This tense is formed using the had plus been plus the present participle or the root verb plus ing form of the verb, and in this specific example, the time signal is 2 decades. For the last group, the perfect progressive continuous tense, we have the future perfect progressive continuous tense. The example is, if it is not pandemic, I will have been traveling to Japan for twice already, wherein will is a helping verb plus another helping verb have plus another helping verb been to the main verb traveling. Future perfect progressive tense is used in the sentence to give emphasis on the completion of an action that will be in progress. It is composed of 2 clauses where the first clause is a dependent one with its verb form is in simple present tense, and the second clause has the verb on the future progressive form. This tense is formed using the will plus have plus been plus the present participle, the root verb or ing form. We now move to the fourth or last category of the major content words, the adverbs. Adverbs are words that are used in sentences to describe, modify, change, or intensify the meaning of a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Types of adverbs and its examples. The first is the adverb place, with examples northward, somewhere, near, etc. The second one is the adverb of time, examples later, yesterday, tomorrow, etc. The third example is the adverb of frequency, often, frequently, weekly, etc. The fourth one is the adverb of manner, with examples honestly, happily, eagerly, etc. In this fourth group, you will notice that the adjective honest has been added with ly to make it adverb. Same with happy, this becomes happily, and eager, an adjective, it becomes eagerly to make it adverb of manner. Okay, for the fifth is adverb of degree, with examples almost, completely, partially, etc. Then we have the sixth group is the adverb of conjunction, examples however, consequently, etc. The seventh one is the adverb of confirmation and negation, examples absolutely, hardly, etc. And the eighth is the adverb of comment, examples luckily, unfortunately, etc. Distinguishing sentences with or without an adverb. Let's have first the adverb of place. Sentence without an adverb. Example, they had dinner. Dinner is a noun. Then sentence with an adverb. They had dinner somewhere. So somewhere there is an adverb. Okay. Distinguishing sentences again with or without an adverb, taking into account the adverb of frequency. Yes, it's the adverb of frequency. Sentence without an adverb. Example, Connie posts pictures in her Instagram. Sentence with an adverb. Connie posts pictures in her Instagram often, where the word often or often is the adverb. So this time let's have the adverb of time. Sentence without an adverb. Example, Diane Marie had her COVID-19 vaccine. Sentence with an adverb. Example, Diane Marie had her COVID-19 vaccine yesterday, when the yesterday is the adverb of time. There. This time we have the adverb of manner. Sentence without an adverb. Example, Mertz sings a song. Sentence with an adverb. Example, Mertz sings a song emotionally, where the word emotionally is an adverb of manner. Then let's go to the adverb of degree. Sentence without an adverb. Example, Sarah finished editing the event video. Now, sentence with an adverb. Example, Sarah completely finished editing the event video, where the word completely is an adverb of degree. Now let's move to the adverb of conjunction. Sentence without an adverb. Example, Alan de la Trinidad is such a nice guy. A sentence with an adverb. Example, Alan de la Trinidad is such a nice guy. In fact, I took him as a baptismal godfather for my son. At this point, the word in fact is the adverb of conjunction. This time, we have the adverb of confirmation. Sentence without an adverb. Example, I love Japan as a tourist destination. Sentence with an adverb. Example, I absolutely love Japan as a tourist destination, wherein the word absolutely is the adverb of confirmation. Now this time, we have the adverb of negation. Sentence in a positive statement. Example, my son eats vegetables. This time we have sentence in a negative statement. Example, my son never eats vegetables. The word never there is an adverb of negation. Now let's go to the last one, the group of the adverb of comment. Sentence without an adverb. Example, Miss Philippines did not win the Miss Universe 2020 crown. Whereas on the sentence with an adverb, as example is, unfortunately, Miss Philippines did not win Miss Universe 2020 crown, wherein unfortunately is the adverb of comment. This time we have to go to the second major classification of parts of speech, and they are the minor function words. These are words which play a more structural role in a sentence, and each of its classes are more closed in that normally no new words are added. Examples: determiners and articles need no affixes. Second one, pronoun, determiner, preposition, conjunction, and interjection words need no affixes and inflections, or else they lose their meaning as function words. You see? Let's have now a brief discussion of minor or function words. First, determiners. Second, pronouns. Third, conjunctions. Fourth, prepositions. And the last one is the interjections. Determiners and its examples. Determiners is simply defined as those words placed in front of a noun to make it clear what the noun refers to. This category of words are interchangeably used as limiting adjectives, where they tell which one, what kind, how many, or whose. In fact, in sentences where there is an order of adjectives, determiners comes first before the descriptive adjectives. Categories of determiners. The first group is the articles. There consists of three, a, and the. The second, demonstratives, consists of four, these, that, these, and those. The numbers is divided into two subgroups. The first one is the cardinal numbers with examples 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Then the ordinal numbers with examples first, second, third, and so on. The fourth group of these categories are the possessives. Examples are my, your, his, her, etc. The fifth one is the quantifier or the quantifiers. Examples are a few, another, much, many, any, several, a lot, very, etc. Determiners as used in a sentence. Let's have first the indefinite articles or art. Not specific. They are not specific. Examples: Lucia bought a gift for her son. So if you see the article there, a is followed by a word gift, and gift, okay, so there this indefinite article is used when it precedes a noun which starts with a consonant and in a singular form. Here the noun that it follows is gift and it starts with letter G. So therefore we use a as an article. Then for the second example, Lucia is riding in an automobile with her son. If you see, the article an is used, and this indefinite article is used when it precedes a noun which starts with a vowel and in a singular form. As you see, automobile is the noun which starts with letter A, a vowel. So therefore we use an as our article. Now let's continue using determiners in the sentence. Let's have the definite article, which is more specific. Now let's have an example. The English teacher who taught me composition writing died 9 years ago. If you will notice, the article we have used is the. Okay? So this definite article is used before singular and plural noun where that noun is specifically identified. In this case, the noun was preceded by adjective. English, where the English teacher is noun phrase. Now let's have this one. Okay? So we have demonstratives, or we shorten it as them. Examples: this laptop is mine. Demonstrative there is this. This demonstrative determiner is used when referring to a singular noun which is very close to the speaker. Another example: that laptop is mine. So that is the demonstrative, where this demonstrative determiner is used when referring to a singular noun which is distant from the speaker. Let's continue with the demonstratives. Example or examples: these coins are mine. In this example, this is used as a demonstrative, wherein this demonstrative determiner is used when referring to a plural noun which is very close to the speaker. Another example: those coins are mine. Here, those is the demonstrative, wherein this demonstrative determiner is used when referring a plural noun which is distant from the speaker. What about numbers? Okay, so let's have example number 1. Okay, in a cardinal number in sentence usage, Stephanie bought 3 cupcakes, where 3 there is used as a number determiner. NU. Okay, other linguist authors consider cardinal numbers as both a limiting adjective or adjectives and determiners. The second one is example of an ordinal number in sentence usage. The sentence is this: she is the first candidate of this competition, wherein first is the ordinal number used in a sentence. Same with this, other linguist authors consider ordinal numbers as both limiting adjectives and determiners. Distinguishing possessive determiner from possessive pronoun. So, possessive determiners or PD. Example, my laptop is not working well. My is the possessive determiner. The possessive my expresses ownership or possession, usually precedes the noun. On the other hand, this laptop is mine. Let's see, mine there is used as possessive pronoun. So in the second example, the word mine is used as a possessive pronoun or PP and not a possessive determiner. Now, let's have the quantifier determiners or QD. Examples. Several houses were damaged by the typhoon, where the word several is a quantifier determiner. The quantifier several gives no specific number but absolutely quantifies the noun in plural form. On our second example, I have many friends in our neighborhood. Many is the quantifier determiners. So in the second example, the word many quantifies friends in plural form but does not give exact number. Now we move to the second minor function words, the pronouns. Pronouns, in its simplest definition, substitute a noun and the sentence to avoid repeating the noun. Example. First sentence, Jerich studied hard last night. Second sentence, he wanted to be sure to pass the test the following day. Explanation. The noun Jerich and the first sentence was substituted with pronoun he in the second sentence instead of repeating the noun Jerich. Types of pronouns. The first one is the personal pronouns. Examples I, he, she, they, etc. Second one is the demonstrative pronouns this, that, these, those. The third one is the interrogative pronouns who, whom, which, and what. The fourth one is relative pronouns, examples whoever, whomever, whichever, etc. Then indefinite pronouns all, another, any, etc. Sixth one is the reflexive pronouns with examples myself, yourself, herself, etc. And the seventh one is intensive pronouns myself, yourself, herself, etc. Its difference to reflexive pronouns is it emphasizes its antecedent. Example, I myself find English interesting. Now we have the case forms of personal pronouns. Let's have three columns. The first is the person, the second one is singular, and then the third column is plural. Let's have the first group, nominative pronouns. So first person, I, and there's singular, we, and plural. Second person, in singular, you, the same in plural, you also. And third person, under singular we have he, she, it, and in plural we have they. For the second group, we have the objective pronouns. And the first person singular is me, the plural is us. The second person, we have you under nominative, under singular pronoun, and then the same is true under plural, also you. The third person is him, her, it's under singular form, and them under plural. For the last group, the possessive pronouns, and the first person, we have my, mine under singular, and our, ours under plural. Then for the second person, we have your and yours. Then also your and yours in plural. And the last one is the third person under possessive pronouns. We have his, her, hers, each under singular, and then their and theirs under plural. Personal pronouns as used in a sentence. Let's have first the nominative pronouns used as a subject. Examples: we are all united against COVID-19, where we is the pronoun. We is in first person plural form of the nominative pronoun group and is used as the subject in the sentence. The second one is they are vaccinated with Pfizer. They is the pronoun, and they is in the third person in plural form of the nominative pronoun group and is used as the subject in the sentence. Now we work on the objective pronouns. Example: my friend treats me like his own brother, where me is a pronoun there. So me is in first person singular form of the objective pronoun group and is a part of the predicate in the sentence. The second example is the pupils give her a surprise gift, where her is an objective pronoun. Her is in third person in singular form of the objective pronoun group and is a part of the predicate in the sentence. Now for the last group of personal pronouns, we have the possessive pronouns. Examples: this food are all yours. Yours there is a possessive pronoun. Yours is in second person plural form of possessive pronoun group and is a part of the predicate in the sentence. The second example is that house is theirs, where theirs is a possessive pronoun. Theirs is in third person in plural form of the possessive pronoun group and is a part of the predicate in the sentence. Now let's move on to the third minor function words, the conjunctions. Conjunction is a part of a speech that connects words, phrases, or clauses to make one long sentence. Types of conjunctions. The first one is the coordinating conjunction. Examples: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Its acronym is FANBOYS. They are used to form compound sentences. The second one is the subordinating conjunctions with examples: after, although, as if, even though, if, since, before, whereas, while, and until. The third one is the correlative conjunctions, examples either or, neither nor, not only but, also, both and, whether or, just as, so, etc. Coordinating conjunction in sentences. Examples: Russell has been saving money for she wanted to save for her children's future. For there is a coordinating conjunction. For is used instead of because, where it connects two independent clauses. Second example, we have Christopher excels in academics and he also performs well in sports. And there is a coordinating conjunction. And connects two independent clauses with related ideas. Conj stands for conjunction. Let's continue using conjunction in the sentences. Now we have the third example. She does not enjoy listening to music, nor she likes to play any musical instrument. Nor there is a coordinating conjunction. So nor, which is similar to neither, is used to connect two independent clauses, which makes the sentence negative. The fourth example, the doctors tried their best to revive her, but they all failed. But there is a coordinating conjunction. But is used to show a contrast to two connected independent clauses. Conj stands for conjunction. Let's continue using coordinating conjunctions in sentences. Example, the fifth one, the students were given an option to join the field trip or they will submit a project. Or is conjunction, wherein or is used to show a choice represented in two connected independent clauses. The sixth one is she reviewed her lesson overnight, yet she failed the test, where yet is another coordinating conjunction. Yet is like but and is used to show a contrast of two connected independent clauses. Conj stands for conjunction. Now let's have the last coordinating conjunction as used in a sentence. So here, example, Glenda has started saving money so she can attend their J's prom night, where so is a coordinating conjunction. So is used to connect two independent clauses when a result is shown. From the coordinating conjunctions, we now move to subordinating conjunctions as used in sentences. Here, example, shoppers in the mall will only be allowed after they are fully vaccinated. After is a subordinating clause. Number 2, the students will only be given a passing grade if they submit all the requirements. If is a subordinating conjunction. Third one, she has been a resident of this town since she was a child. Since there is a subordinating conjunction. So conj stands for conjunction. Now let's go to correlative conjunction in sentences. Examples. The first one is too much exposure to sunlight does not only damage your skin, but also develops to cancer. So they are correlative in the sense that they are used in pair. This not only and but also are correlative conjunctions. The second one is both parents and children should show respect with each other to achieve good relationships. So here, the pair of correlative conjunctions are both and. Conj stands for conjunction. Now let's go to the next group of the minor function words, the prepositions, with its examples. So preposition is a word or group of words used before a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase to show direction, time, place, location, special relationships, or to introduce an object, according to the Wikipedia. Types of preposition. The first one is simple prepositions with examples on, at, in, for, by, to, etc. The second type of preposition is the double prepositions with examples unto, into, up to, out of, upon, etc. The third one is the compound preposition with examples across, along, beside, inside, etc. Then the fourth is the participle prepositions with examples concerning, notwithstanding, etc. Then the last one is the phrase preposition with examples for a change, in accordance with, etc. Using simple preposition in sentences. Examples. She lives at 31 L. Roberts Street, Manila. The preposition there is at. The preposition at is used for a specific location. The second one is she lives in Manila. And the preposition there is in, where the in preposition is used for non-specific location. Using double prepositions in sentences. Examples. The first one, the detectives are secretly moving into the building. The preposition there is into. The into preposition or prep is used to indicate direction leading inside to an enclosed structure. Then the second example is most kids now are into Mobile Legend games, where into is used there as a double preposition. Now, the into preposition is used to express one's interest. Using compound preposition in sentences. Examples. 1. Her friends saw her walking across the street. Across there is a compound preposition. Now, the across preposition indicates a location of either on the other side or from one side to the other of something. The second one is Jerome has been strolling along the beach. Along there is a compound preposition, and the along preposition indicates a location in a line next to something long and thin. Using participle prepositions in sentences. The first one is the issue is concerning diabetes as deadly disease, where concerning is a participle preposition. The concerning preposition indicates what a question or piece of information is about. The second example is the rescuers succeeded notwithstanding the flood, where notwithstanding is a participle preposition. The notwithstanding preposition implies that something is true even though there are obstacles or opposing conditions. Can be interchangeably used with despite or in spite of. Using phrase preposition in sentences. The first example is annulment is allowed in accordance with an existing law. In accordance with is a phrase preposition. The in accordance with preposition is used in expressing something that agrees with a rule, request, or law. The second one is for a change, you can celebrate your birthday with orphans. The preposition there, or the phrase preposition, is for a change. The for a change preposition expresses something different from what is the usual practice or preference. Prep means preposition. The last group of the categories in the minor function words are interjections, and here they are. Interjection or interjections are words people say when they are excited. They are exclamations which help people understand what a speaker is trying to say. Sometimes interjection words and phrases are used to express agreement or disagreement with a certain statement. They are also used to greet others or to express one's thinking, according to writing.com. Types of interjections. The first one is interjections for greetings. Examples: hi, hey, hello, etc. The second one is the interjection for joy. Hooray, hooray, wow, yippee, etc. Interjections for approval and praise. Bravo, brilliant, etc. Interjections for surprise. Gosh, wow, what, oh, etc. Interjections for grief or pain. Ah, ouch, alas, etc. Interjection for bidding farewell. Farewell, bye, etc. Interjection for doubts and hesitation. Etc. Note, all of them should start with a capital letter and with exclamation point. Using interjections in sentences. Examples. The first one is, hi, I am Teacher Benedict, your virtual learning partner. Hi there is an interjection. Number 2, bravo, you nailed them all. Bravo is the interjection. The third one is, wow, the scenery is just amazingly stunning. Wow there is an interjection. Interj stands for interjection. Now, after studying the major and function words all together, let's have this one. Read this illustrative example of a sentence. The sentence is, this broom for sweeping the floor belongs to me. If This is a function word. Broom is a content word. For is a function word. Sweeping is a content word. The is a function word. Floor is a content word. Lungs is a content word. Chew is a function word. Me is a function word. Then, if we plot them in a sentence separating the content from function words, to contrast the two categories, notice the difference between the following plotted sentences with omissions, using only the function words while deleting the content words. Example, the blank for blank, the blank, blank to me. Using only the content words while deleting the function words. Example, blank broom, blank sweeping, blank floor belongs blank blank. Note clearly the central message can be grasped better when the content words are left in than when only the function words remain. This video would not be a reality without the significant people who helped me or equipped me in English language. And they are Mr. Alan R. de la Trinidad and Miss Roslyn A. Napoles, who actually helped me in layouting and video production. Miss Sarah Jane F. Familaran, who provided me Canva and audio recording tutorials. My heartfelt gratitude also is extended to my teachers and professors who taught me English, achieving mastery of the language. The late Miss Tita Y. de la Cruz. She is my high school and college professor in Christ the King College. Madam Sonia R. Manzano and Madam Alice M. Caraan. They are my TESOL professors in Philippine Normal University, Manila campus. You may also want to read my travel blog at www.lexicalcrown.blogspot.com. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe and share.